Hi, everyone. Welcome to By Design with Dr. Erika. Today on our show, I am joined by Garita Coddington, a coach consultant and the owner of Garita Coddington Consulting. And today we are chatting about her entrepreneurial journey, what keeps her motivated, and how she manages the fine line of being a full-time employee while working on fulfilling her dream. So, Garita, welcome to the show.
Hello, Erika. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited about the show.
No problem. I'm glad you could join us all the way from, tell us where you are right now.
I'm in England. I'm in London, but I'm from Bermuda, originally from Bermuda. So I'm on vacation.
Oh, nice. I'm kind of jealous.
No, it's rainy and it's cold.
Oh,
so
no.
you don't need, and it's very gray,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully you could enjoy some of the UK while you're there.
Definitely.
Yes. So, Garita, tell us a little bit about, yourself and sort of your entrepreneurial dreams that you have going on in your head.
My gracious. Okay. This is a serious journey. So a little bit about myself. I'm from Bermuda. I have, for the past 20 years, I've been working in education.
Okay.
And I'm the mother of two. I have a 16-year-old son who actually lives in London, plays football. You may call it soccer, right. Remy Coddington. And I have a beautiful 20-year-old daughter who is back home with me in Bermuda, looking to go to Howard University, hopefully in January of next year. All this COVID stuff happening. So been in education for 20 years, in love with education, teacher. I have my background is in chemistry. And then when I got a taste of leadership, maybe after 2 years being a teacher, a science teacher at one of our local high schools, I loved it. So 2 years into the profession, I became a leader, and I was a leader up until I quote unquote retired from education last December. So was a science teacher, a mentor, teacher leader of science. Then I became a principal. So my last 10 years was being a principal. And from the time I was a teacher leader, I had to do professional development. I had to write curriculum. I had to help individuals to understand how to deliver, how to engage people, and how to want to be better. I'm big on empowerment. I'm big on you never know what your genius is until you tap into it. And I love to see people succeed. Sometimes I go above and beyond. I've been told that I see more in people than they see in themselves. Mm-hmm. So by doing those different tasks while in education, I had a taste for wanting to develop people outside of the school that I worked in or that I led. So maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I had the opportunity to, one of my former teachers became the senior manager of the Department of Human Resources. That's the government overseeing all the government training. And she contacted me and said, "Hey, Garita, I wonder if you'll be interested in doing some workshops for government employees." So I'm like, wow, okay. So again, that was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So they would call me up. I will spend a half day or a day, doing workshops for people, organizational trust, leadership 101, leadership at every level, how to be empowered. And I fell in love with it even more. So I knew that my calling was to help people. So interesting, what happened was I'll be doing a workshop, and then people would want to do some work with me outside of the workshop. They would want to call me and ask for my assistance, allow me to coach them when they're doing interviews, or if they're preparing to have an important meeting, or if they had some trouble. And it was mostly around career development. So then I said, you know what, I can do this. So you never think of coaching when you're an educator because it's innate in what you do. You get paid to do that. And then when I saw, you mean other people actually like what I do and it works? So maybe 4 years ago, I started to, allow people to come into my space, and I worked with them. Mm-hmm. And over the past year, it's been phenomenal because I've been very focused on building a business around this. And in Bermuda, you don't have a lot of coaches, right? Life coaches. I know in my community, no one said, "Hey, I think you should get a life coach." They didn't say that, and I wish they did.
So
So I've helped. Go ahead.
when you had like those people coming to you and asking for your help, you know, there are people out there that have these skill sets that other people come to, but they kind of push it to the side, like, oh, I'm good at this, but I can never get paid for it. Like, I can never
Right.
make this into a business. How did you get into the mindset of, yes, this could be a business. Yes, I should be charging for this because I'm worth it.
You know, it was some of my friends. Some of my friends, they would say, you know, and they call me Peaches. So that's my nickname. So they'll say, Peaches, you know, you're always giving things away free. And I'm like, people will pay for this? And it wasn't until I decided that I wanted to have a coach to kind of elevate me to the next level, because that's what coaches do. And I felt very uncomfortable asking for money, Erika, very uncomfortable. And one time I had a session with someone, and this was a free session. Actually, it was DHR. I did a workshop, and this lady waited for me after the workshop. And she says, you know, she helped me pack up. She walked me to my car and she says, I need you to know that, do you know if you did this workshop for my company, we would have paid you like $10,000? I said, what? I said, what? She says, you would have gotten paid. I've seen people come and they didn't have the energy, the expertise. You put yourself out there, you give good examples, you're not afraid to challenge, and you stretch people. And she says, I want to encourage you. So anyway, I go and I say, okay, you know what? Let's put some feeders out there. So I put together, I went after coming from the CAP Institute. You know how we did the Summer Institute in Atlanta?
And so,
you know, they help you with this business.
For everyone out there that may not know what the CAP Institute
Oh, sorry.
It's, go ahead and tell them, go ahead.
What is it? Coaching. What is it, Erika? What does it stand for?
So I don't know what it stands for, but it's a coaching certification program
Yes.
put in place
Yes.
by Valerie Burton, who's one of a phenomenal coach in her own light. So go ahead.
That's really going to bother me because I know it's positive coaching and something, and positive psychology or something like that. Right. But it's good, Valerie. We apologize for not getting the actual name correct.
Right. We know who you are, Valerie. We just couldn't think of what.
Yes. So when I went there over the summer, that I was gifted that. Believe it or not, by my daughter. She worked over the summer. She says, "Mom, I want you to do this," and she gifted me to go and go to this, you know, long weekend institute. So when I was there, I realized that I have to value myself. So when I came back, that's when I started to say, you know what? Maybe it's $50 for 30 minutes. Let's see if people are interested. And it got to a point again, I'm going back and forth because the networking opportunities came from doing the DHR where I had government employees. So this one young lady came to me and said, you know, I need a coach. And how much do you charge? And I was like, wow. So that's where it started, you know, and she then told her friend who told her friend, and then some of my education colleagues. And I said, I don't have time to help you like I used to because I'm not in education anymore. Okay, well, how much do you charge? And it's still uncomfortable for me. It's very still uncomfortable to put a value on how I'm helping. So I'm working through that.
What makes it uncomfortable? What about the price makes it?
That's maybe it's me still working on valuing myself to know that I deserve to be paid for what I bring to the table to help other people. Mm-hmm. So I think that's it. I'm working through it. But I am at the point I sent, someone reached out to me, someone I was coaching, and they, of course, had someone contact me, and she's a lovely young lady, and she contacted me, and, you know, I had to stop because I was giving her free stuff. And then I said, I can send you some information. You know, we do that, right?
Right.
So then I sent her some information. I didn't hear from her. So, you know, how I was coached is like, conversations get you cash. Conversations get you cash. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what? I'm going to send her a voice note on WhatsApp. Mm-hmm. So I sent her a voice note, you know, so and so. And I said, you know, if we want to have a conversation. So she contacted me. She says, oh, I love what you can do to help. Well, what's the cost? So I gave her the cost. Mm-hmm. And she says, okay, I'm going to talk to my partner about it. And she just said at that time, oh, well, you know, I don't think that my partner feels it's worth that amount. And I was okay with it. Mm-hmm. I was okay with it. That's the piece that I am overcoming when people say no. Right. That, oh, you want to pay this? You want to charge me this for these services? So I hope I answered your question. But
no, you did. It's great. Because I think a lot of people struggle with that. To your point, they want to give things away for free. You know, we're kind-hearted. You want to help people.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just finding that right mindset, that right moment to say, I want to help you, yes, but I also understand that what I'm offering is extremely valuable. And I don't want to
Yes.
discount myself as well. So I think that's a good
Yes.
point. Awesome.
Yes.
So now you're doing all this. So you're working full time, you're coaching.
Yes.
And you're traveling.
Yes.
How
Coaching
are you,
while I'm traveling, yes.
right. And you're in school for coaching at the same time.
Yes.
So how are you handling all these things and juggling all these things?
Well, I try not to use the O word or the S word. O word means overwhelmed.
Okay.
S means stress. That's like a bad word.
Okay.
It's bad. Those are bad words, right? I'm learning, and in January I just started a new job. I left education. I have a degree in chemistry and a master's degree in chemistry, secondary education, and I transitioned into the international business arena.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like fresh meat.
Right.
So there was a steep learning curve, but I had this goal that I knew I still wanted to service people. So I've had the opportunity to coach within this job setting, but the coaching has gone from a couple of people to like close to 25. So someone said, Gary, how many people are you coaching again?
Right.
So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm coaching plus doing my role and responsibilities.
Right.
I've added the coaching on. And what's so interesting, the firm values that. So I always say, when I get to coach people, my colleagues in the firm, it's my Zen time. I'm in love with it.
Yeah.
So it kind of allows me to breathe. So I do that. That job is not a 9 to 5. It's more of a 7 to 7.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm still working on building the business because of this new job and doing the course. When I started the course, it's just been where I know that I haven't put my all in the business like I should. But from doing the course, I've been pushed to, I'm working on a website. I have some friends of mine that are helping me with the website. And I said, I'm old now, so we have to do this right the first time, right? I feel like I'm old. So we're working on a website. I do have some connections. I do have some organizations that have hired me. So I do work with them different part times of the year. I'm working now with my son and my daughter and some of their friends. I'm really tapping into the youth, the younger people, their late teens, the early 20s, only because as a parent, I see that some realities have to be, they need to think bigger. Mm-hmm. And so I'm playing with that. I'm kind of playing with that. So these are my clients. I'm tapping into their reality of what it means to live in the now, what it means to, even though we have all this social media and I have to listen to certain music and I'm listening to conversations or I'm looking at Instagram because I don't have it. This form of reality of this is all cool, but what is your reality and how are you going to get to those goals? Because come on, what we sometimes see in social media is not something that can happen to just Joe Blow. So what are you going to do to set the path for yourself? So I always believe that you are the person who's responsible for what is going to happen to you. So what are you going to do? Another thing I tell my children is when opportunity comes, you have to be prepared. So for me, coaching and supporting them is getting them prepared for when opportunity comes. Mm-hmm. Because when that opportunity comes, you got to be ready because there's probably 1,000 people that want the same opportunity you want. So what do you bring that's unique? And how do you show them your genius and your strengths? And they fall in love with you and they remember you, Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, in that you mentioned the O word and the S word that we don't say.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So are there parameters you put in place or tools that you use to keep you from going into those spaces of O word and S word?
Yes. One thing that I'm doing more consciously from taking the course, the positive psychology piece of it, is definitely doing breathing, exercising, reaffirming what I'm doing. So for instance, there's a 4-hour time difference between me working now in the UK and at home in Bermuda. Mm-hmm. So at times I was like, yeah, this is great because I'm going to be 4 hours ahead of them. But of course, once the business opens, you got to catch up, right? You have all these meetings. So I was so I'm not going to say the word, right? So I just had to do the breathing techniques and I do meditation. I'm really big on that. And I know that it's okay. No one's going to die if I don't get this done.
Right.
but communication is important. So I can tell, I feel the S level coming down.
Mhm.
And I breathe. Honestly, one of the techniques that I want to share, and I don't know if you do it, Erika, is every 60 to 90 minutes, I put my timer on my phone. And when it goes off, I stop and I do my breathing for 2 minutes. I
Every
inhale
60 to
the
90
love,
minutes?
60 to 90 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. The only time I don't do it, just in case someone who knows me and they work with me, is if I'm on a call. Is if I'm on a call. I mean,
You're not
but
just
if I
in the
want to,
middle
even
of a
if,
call
yeah,
and
yeah, I can. But it works, because
Mhm.
you want to do and be the best. But I'm in love with work. I'm in love with doing stuff, doing work, keeping my mind occupied. So I had to learn, because I will get tight shoulders, knots. I can't sleep. And I
Mhm.
said, no, I don't want that life. And moving forward, I don't want that life anymore. So that's what I do. And I now know it's okay if I don't get to that task today. Before, I used to be hard on myself.
Uh, gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
people have those long task lists. You can beat yourself up. It can become easy to beat yourself up when you
Yeah.
haven't finished
Yes.
something that you set out to do. Okay. So in this journey, of
Mhm.
again being full time and working towards having your consulting business, is there anything that you found about the coaching space or even thinking about being an entrepreneur that you didn't expect? Any like unexpected roadblocks that you're hitting in the process?
You know, I didn't, it's a couple of things.
Okay.
I didn't expect, and I don't know if you find this, it hurt my feelings and then I got over it. I didn't expect that the people who you thought will say yes, don't say yes to you supporting them. And it hurt it, I'm like, my God, I would love to help my friend if they were doing this. Let
Right.
me invest in them. So that was one I didn't expect. I'm a very big thinker. They call me a dreamer. So I'm the visionary person.
Mhm.
So I didn't expect the time it will take, because, in education, I've always had for 10 years, I was a principal. So I had a secretary, or I had someone that will come in to support and do those little intricate details,
Mhm.
meticulous. I don't like that. So I didn't expect to take so long to do the little baby steps, because I'm the big thinker, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, I also didn't expect, and I'm naive, so I apologize. I didn't expect for there to be such a need to know social media. I only have WhatsApp. So you need a website, you need Instagram, I don't know how to do that. You need Facebook. I don't have Facebook. So I didn't expect that will be so important to grow that business. And now me looking to do it globally, I think globally, because of COVID, you can coach someone in Turkey or Greece or anywhere. I never thought of that. I
Yeah.
never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. So you bring up 3 points, and I want to delve into these a little bit more.
Okay.
They're fascinating to me. So you said one, you didn't expect the lack of support, like from people that you thought were going to support you. Two, the big idea and the time that it takes to do little meticulous things. And three,
Yes.
the social media. So I want to delve into the first one, because I think we all kind of
Okay.
have that.
Yeah.
Like, I have this business. You're not supporting me.
Come
Why should
on, like, come on.
I?
They'll
Right.
call me for this, but they're not calling me for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you handle those relationships when that happened?
That's a really good question, Erika. Um, I avoided people. When
Mm,
I put my feeders, and that was wrong, and I had to fix that, right? When I remember, again, I come from education. For 20 years, I worked, and for 18 of those years, I've been a leader. So everyone came to me. I'm the go-to girl. I was the go-to girl. You want to learn about something, go to Garita. You want to prepare for a job, go to Garita. And of course, as an educator, I think that's why we don't get paid enough money. We just give everything away for free.
right.
So then when you transition, and 90% of my friends are educators, because that's who I've been around, right? And when you then see that someone is aspiring to be at the higher level of the organization, and they've told you this, and then you're like, you know what? wow, I have a couple of you. Yeah, let's talk about it. How would you like to be coached? You
Mhm.
know, and they give you the look. Coach, yeah, sure. Okay. So how much do you value growing and investing in yourself? What do you mean? And that was my pitch, right? And then when you get, oh no, that's all right then.
Uh-huh.
But these were the people that would wait for you and come drive from one end of the island to the other to just talk to you about their aspirations, and it kind of like, you're like, okay, so how did I deal with that? At first I avoided them. I would give them, I would say, hey, how you doing? But they were like, I haven't heard from you, because I was so peeved off with them, right? So and I'm very big on apologizing. So then I realized that, hey, guess what? It's okay. They may not see what you can offer, so you have to go outside your comfort zone. And I actually spoke to them about it, and I
Mhm.
spoke to them about how I felt, and that's part of who I am. Once I catch myself, hey, let's have a conversation. This is how I felt. And then they shared where they were in that space, and one person said, well, I didn't think. I was like, why would she think I'll pay her? They actually said that.
Ah,
Why would
wow.
she think I'll pay her? Yeah. So that's how I've worked on that. But now I've had the opportunity to be exposed to more people outside of education.
Mhm.
So those are my target audience.
Right,
That's my target audience.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right. And that's a great point, because sometimes the people that we think should support us are not the people that we are called to serve, not the people that are our ideal clients. So I
Yeah.
think that that's a great thing. So that's something we all go through as
Yes.
entrepreneurs.
We still go through. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So the second thing you brought up was your big idea. You're a big idea person, and
Yes.
the challenge, I guess, of dealing with all the little minute pieces of that. Talk to us a little bit more about that. Is that something that you still find a struggle from day to day, or have you learned how to
Um,
manage that?
what I've learned is that I've learned to reach out to my friends or family who have the skill set. I'm so quick to say, I know when to lead, I know when to follow. So I reach out to my family and friends who have the skill set, who are my biggest cheerleaders and who are willing to put in the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've done, and it's worked.
Right.
From my my one of my best friends who's a big time marketing guru, and also my cousin's husband who also is a marketing guru. And they tore up some things, and I said, no, it's all right, tear it up. And then they said, this is what it should look like, because they know me. So it's like they're helping me
Mm-hmm.
to brand myself, because I didn't know how to do it. I can talk to you, Erika, I can be whatever, but to say, okay, I need you to build something around who you are. And I remember I wrote something, and his name is Clifton and her name is Simone, and they, were on this call, and they're like, "Oh, what is this?" I said, what? It's like, that's not who you are. Okay, this is what I want. I'm going to send you some stuff. I want you to look at it, and then I want you to try it again. So I became a learner, right? And I loved it. And then I have a friend, my cousin's wife. She is a graphic design. She's this cool hip chick, tattoos, and I'm like, and she's sharp, and I'm like, gosh, I didn't know, because you don't have conversations, right? So I've learned, when people, especially family and friends, when you're open about what you're doing, they then talk on your behalf, and people just come. So I
Mm-hmm.
have this graphic designer, top quality. I have the marketing people. I now have a photographer, because they say I need professional pictures. Yeah.
Wow. You have a
So,
whole
I
like
have
team.
this team. I have this team, right? And they're just waiting for me to, they're like, when you get back, we'll work on the next steps. And I said,
Okay.
okay, no problem. So yeah. And I wrestled with, and I was saying to my daughter actually this morning when we were driving, um, I said, hey, I'm coaching a lot in a 9 to 5, which is part of my role and responsibility. And I'm neglecting this part, because so much happening over there, and I want to grow and I want to learn. So I have to be still and figure out how to bring back that Garita Coddington consulting, especially in the new year, because this is what I want. By 50, I want to do this full time. Like, you're full time, right, Erika?
Yes, I am.
Do you? girl, I want to come home and do it. Do that stuff. So that's my goal. Yeah.
But I mean, you bring up a good point. It's all about delegating.
Yes.
And because you need to live in your zone of genius, and you can't live in your zone of genius of coaching and consulting when you're trying to figure out social media and you're trying to get this brand done and this, that, and the other. So you have to have the courage and the confidence to let some things go, which if you're a control freak like me, it's hard to do.
Yep.
But that's what's needed. So,
what's interesting? When 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years, when I went to the summer training of the CAP Institute, and I was astonished, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking how Valerie has brought her family to support her business. So that's building dynasty, I love it. So I told my mom when I got back, I say, Mom, when you retire, you're going to be my PA, right? I said, Cree, my daughter, when you graduate, you're coming in to do my accounts and business. Yeah. Remy, he's the football athletic one. I said, I just need you to get me clients, Pumpkin. And then you market your mother, within that arena. So I was astonished. And I'm like, this is how we should do it. We should be building our dynasty within our family unit, because everyone feels that they have a vested interest in it. And so they can talk, and it could be kind of ubiquitous with how we roll as a family. So that's what I'm hoping for at 50. Erika. Yeah. That's what
my husband's my graphic designer. My sister is like my trial and error. Like, let's test this out. Let's do this.
Nice.
So we're bringing in people, to get things done, because it is so many pieces to entrepreneurship that you don't even think about, which leads to your last point about social media, and the monster that it is of trying to corral that into something that's manageable, understandable, especially for someone like me. I don't know if you're the same way, that social media was like, okay, you post, and what?
Why?
Right.
Yeah, why? I'm not interested in that,
Right.
I'm not like, how many followers? Why is that important? I'm like, why do they want people to know? I was so oblivious. I was, as my children would say, you don't know anything that's going on, right? And I'm like, but now it's like, hey, wait a minute. I actually need to go into that arena. So that's going to be a part of my my New Year's resolution come January, when I have this team that the marketing, my marketing friends are going, they already know that I'm pushing you in. You're going to have to do a blog. You're going to have to respond to people. You're going to have to post. And I'm like, okay, now where do I find time? But
and that's where I was a couple of years ago, not a couple of years ago, a few months ago, in terms of having a full-time, trying to do the social media thing, trying to market. And it takes a lot of balance and carving out time and working when people think you shouldn't be working, but you
get some people very angry with you.
Right.
They get very angry with you. Yes. Where are your priorities?
Yes. That is too funny. But so and speaking of priorities, that's one thing that's helpful in terms of doing the full-time transitioning process is the priority. So you mentioned that by the time you're 50, you want to be full-time.
Yes.
Paint us a picture. When you're 50, what does Garita Coddington Consulting look like?
Okay, this is such a good, I wish we had, as I was talking, pictures of it all like a movie, right? So I want you to imagine this. So I've always, I have a home that I own, and it's a nice home. And I envision by 50, the downstairs apartment becomes my office. It becomes a Zen place where I have clients coming. I also have friends that do, whether they do homeopathic pieces, do they do massages, they do readings, they do all that good stuff. I envision it being that place where people come outside of town, so you're not going to go into town, and you come to this place, and it's a beautiful yard, and you get to relax around the pool, and that's my office, that's my area to nourish people's soul. I see myself traveling and being a keynote speaker all over the world. I see myself coaching people now, being in this new job. I've networked where in a short span of time where I want to be able to coach top executives all the way down to their administrative assistants. Like I want them to hire me. I want to be able to build curriculums because that's my that's my skill also as an educator. So I can, if you say, Erika says, you know what, this is what we're working on. I want to do some things. I want to expand my platform. We can offer some webinars or some virtual trainings. This is the topic. I want to build a curriculum for you. I want to be able to help people to learn how to facilitate, face to face and also virtual now. And I want to allow people to help them to know how to measure the success of their company. So I just see all this stuff coming together, and I'm so grateful because the education will never leave me. Being an educator, measuring, doing matrix and all that good stuff, and then being in the international business arena and learning how this works, because this is a totally different beast, and how word of mouth is so important. So that's what I envision. I love working from home. I'm in love with it. I don't want to go back. I want to work from home. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my trial run. That's a silver lining to COVID. I'm working from home to see what it's like. Can I be productive? So that's what I see. I see me in Bermuda, but I see me traveling and revamping my lower apartment of the home I own into my office space, and a beautiful space that people love. Is tranquil. Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope you were able to see it.
Yes. I see it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Yeah. So if you could leave one final tip for a woman who is working full time, has this dream and this goal, and is trying to get there, what tip would you tell her, or what piece of advice would you share with her to keep her motivated and moving in the right direction?
I would say never give up on what your vision is. I feel that as women, Black women especially, that we have a lot. I'm a divorcee, single mom of two. It's so much going on, right? And you have this dream and you have to hold on to this dream, because no matter what, at the end of the day, it's about you. So holding on to your dream and holding on to your vision, because I always say when everything's quiet and it's like dark, it's all about you laying and thinking about what do you want for yourself next. So no matter what challenge comes before you, no matter what you think you have to give up, even if you have to put it aside, be okay with it, but don't let it go. So that's my advice. Don't ever let it go. And moreover, find people who are your biggest cheerleaders, but who can add value to what you want to do. Because sometimes you get so tired that they have to do the work for you, meaning you have someone. I have a girlfriend, she talks a lot. So she's one of my networking people. She talks. So, okay, I need you to talk about me when you're out, the marketing people, the graphic design. Sometimes when you have the O or the S word, they do that work for you. That's what the team should look like. So, but they have to know that you're serious about it. They have to believe that you're serious about it, because they can't work harder than you. But just don't give up on it.
Gotcha. Don't give up and find
don't
your
give
team.
up. Yes.
I love it. Awesome. Well, Garita, we have
Thank you, Erika.
No problem. But we're not done yet.
Okay.
We have gotten to the part of the show that is uniquely me, which is our Fab Four. And if you guys have ever seen the show, you know I love my Fab Four. But in 2021, I had to change it up a little bit. So we have 4 new questions to ask all our guests this year. And let's just jump right in. So Garita, not hard questions, just whatever comes to your head, and just let it flow.
So I'm asking you questions?
I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me questions. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you ready?
Go for it.
Question 1.
Okay.
What's the strangest food you've ever eaten?
Oh my God, goat.
Goat?
I don't like they didn't tell me it's goat. I think that's strange. It's goat. It's disgusting. Seriously, for me.
You didn't like it? No.
No.
Okay.
I think I would have liked it if they didn't tell me. It's like I have something wrong with my brain. Yeah.
Okay.
So you weren't impressed. One thing, you weren't impressed. I think that's you did not look impressed. I am so sorry.
I didn't.
I like beef, chicken, and
I wasn't expecting goat. That's all.
goat. Disgusting. Yes.
I'm a very adventurous eater, so
Okay.
that's just me.
No.
I like goat, but okay. If you had a magic stick, what 3 things would you change about the world?
Oh, poverty, racism, and financial equity. I think that's important. I think it's so important. You can't keep on thinking the rich can get richer and the poor. No, it's too much of a gap, a disparity. No, financial equity. Let everyone be able to be on a level playing field, and let's see what they're about to get to their financial goals or whatever. There's no financial equity. No, it's not.
Yeah.
That really bothers me.
All 3 of those tie together. That's like a nice little package. Okay.
Good question. I love this.
All right, number 3. If you were to write a book about yourself, what would you name it?
Okay. Empowering is the new beautiful. Empowering is the new beautiful. I'm big on empowering. I picture myself. I actually thought about this years ago. I wanted to write a book about my life. It's such a story, but I'm also an amputee. I'm an amputee. I've had a prosthesis since the age of 17. So that's been about 29 years. Don't add up my age, or 39, whatever. And I was so embarrassed to show my leg. And this a part of my healing. And I'm saying this publicly for the first time. People didn't know that because I love to dress. I love to look good, but I also would keep on long. And as I went through my challenges in my personal life, even my professional life, I developed this strength, and my whole mantra is empowering. I empower. I had to be empowered to let go of those. Who gives a crap if someone looks at me down the road?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to go through that. So it used to be empowering is the new pretty, but pretty is so empowering is the new beautiful because it's your soul.
Right.
So I envision that would be the title, with me with a nice leather mini, or it hits my knee to show my leg with some high heels.
You have it all planned out. Okay.
I have it all planned. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I need to see that book happening. I need to see that on the shelves of Barnes and Nobles and Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
One day. Yeah.
Empowering is the new beautiful.
I've thought about it. Yeah.
Coming to a bookstore near you. All right. Last one is a statement just for you to finish. And it says, I am, and you fill in the blank.
I am enough.
Yes.
I am enough.
I love it. I love it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Yay. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Garita, thank you so much for being here. It's been great having you. Now, I know you're working on your social media, so there's no links yet or anything for people to find you yet, correct?
But the website is going to be ready by January. So in early January, we are.
The domain name yet?
Erika, stop. No, not yet. When I get.
We will add that later.
What does that mean? Look, what does that mean? No, but you will get everything, Erika. Okay. You will get everything. Okay. And I really want you to know that I appreciate you giving me this time because this will be part of the journey. And my website would have your link if you allow me. So people can, I think that's how it works. And then you link me. I don't know how it works. We'll talk later about that.
Yes. So we will be sure that you guys can connect with Erika as she moves forward on her journey. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, guys out there. Be sure to join us again next time and make sure you subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. And we have great news now because you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. So we are
okay.
expanding, y'all.
I love it. I
So
love
be sure to
it.
find us there. And if you don't know about Dr. Erika by Design, head over to our website, drerikabydesign.com, and learn how I help scattered entrepreneurs design a path to bring their big ideas to life. That's all we have. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.